Hey friends, it's April now, April 2nd. Wednesday, April 2nd, yeah. And I didn't make a video for a couple of days. You know, it just goes like that. Some days just doesn't feel like it. And I was contemplating not making a video again today. I just, sometimes it doesn't feel like the thing to do. And then I was kind of assessing, well, what's going on? I don't always really feel like talking, and then I think I've hit just a slight spot of depression where it's not something that's causing it, but it's just one of those periods that happen occasionally where you just go through it, but it's noticeable. I've gotten to the point over the last 15 years where I just manage the depression, don't even notice it, but every now and then, not every year, I'll hit these parts where it just won't lift, so you just have to kind of ride it out. And I think that's a bit of what's going on these last couple of days. Still feeling it. If I were to identify anything, it's probably not to do with the actual feeling of depression. It's more of just observations. Like the sun, has been shining, but the sun doesn't look like it used to. I might sound crazy to some people, but the sunlight doesn't look like it used to. Something is odd about the sunlight, or something's different about the sunlight. I have just a real hard habit of watching the news and observing world events. And I go to several different news sources trying to figure out what's really going on, because you can't rely on American news sources. You really can't rely on any news sources. Everything is biased. And the earthquake in Chile, I don't know, that caught my attention. But to get back to music, or to talk about music for a second, I forget if it was you again, Justin, but Justin sent me a Record Collector magazine. He said, I can't afford to send any records right now, but I want to send you something. Thanks for the magazine. It has a nice interview with Mike Rutherford of Genesis and Mike and the Mechanics. And it's a good interview. And I really like the band Genesis, and I don't have any of their super collectible records. The page here that shows the super collectibles, I haven't got a single one. I've got a bunch of Genesis. I don't have a single one of their super collectible records. But I love the band. Big deal, eh? Wish it did. I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to carry this Beatle Queen. I talked to the company and told them what I'm really interested in is promoting my music and getting my music used in film, and they don't seem to be interested. So much for that. What's sitting out here? What's sitting out? See, this is part of how I know that it's just a blue period, because my flow, it's taken me a while to get my flow together. And it goes. It comes and it goes. What have I played recently? Last night I listened to PH7 by Peter Hamill all the way through. Once again, the man is very wordy. But what's interesting about Peter Hamill is that even though his songs are extremely wordy, the music is always interesting enough that I can switch in and out of trying to figure out what he's talking about and just listening to the music. I'm more interested in the music. The stories are always the same. I think that's what it is. The story's always the same. So I don't care about your words. Kitty Hawk. Let me close this. You can't see anything. Can't see anything because of the glare. That's a little better. Kitty Hawk, this is something I took a chance on. It's a kind of a light jazz rock band, I think possibly from Canada. Kitty Hawk, Race for the Oasis. Now, I mostly like this. There's kind of a commercial edge to it where it sounds like the music that could be played for a morning coffee show. Mine. I'll put it on, actually. I'm just getting going here, and I just really didn't feel like talking at all yesterday or the day before. Let me put this on and see how this goes down. First thing I think is 80s. Yep, 1981, that sound. But I like it, it's nice. Okay, now I'm going to pass this. I know there's an instrumental on here. I want the instrumental. I think this is an instrumental. Just really not interested in the vocals. Okay, what else have I got sitting out? Yeah, this will work in the background. Kind of light, you know, but it's nice. Let me see if these people can play. Core, a Conspiracy International project on Network. This is a kind of a dark album that I listened to twice last night. It just, I don't know, it just really, it's got some collaborations with people like Coil, Monty Kazaza, Robert Wyatt, Lustamord, Boyd Rice, and CTI. The side with Coil was really working. John Duncan and Joe Potts and Monty Kazaza. Dark, but really it was working last night. Something else I was listening to, just some sound. I needed sound. Recoil. Alan Wilder used to be in Depeche Mode. 1 + 2. Experimental is what I'd say about this. German music has been kind of in the ether amongst different VC members lately. Pull this, E-Rock, his first solo album. I think it was in Grobschnitt. This is really good. I have his second album, which is a little sillier, but this one is almost like a Klaus Schultz album. Really good. On Green Brain, too. I love that label, Brain. Clyde Kreiner. The cover is, when I see covers like this, I always just keep going, but I happened to buy this at a sale for $1 about 10 years ago. Santana is on this and some other folks. This is really good. Jazz, rock, R&B, a little bit of funk. Clyde Kreiner. This is good. Marcus Miller's on here, Carlos Santana, Omar Hakim. Clyde Kreiner, Behind the Sun. This is really, actually quite good. He's a keyboardist. Some cold wave I kept but hadn't listened to forever. Been looking at records to trade lately. Sport of Kings Parade. I'm keeping this. Cold wave. I'm not sure what else to say about it, but I still like this. Sport of Kings Parade. 1984. This is a keeper. Couldn't remember what this sounded like, so I played it all the way through yesterday. Ended up playing side 2 twice. Apollo, Brian Eno with Daniel Lanois. Atmospheres and Soundtracks. Really enjoyed this yesterday. Played side 2 twice. Really enjoyed it. Working on, for a minute I had stopped, but I'm working on a CD version, a limited edition CD version of Flyover. That's what I was working on yesterday. Hope to have that before the end of the month. Mr. Hageman, Twin Smooth Snouts. I've been trying to find out about this, and I can't find out anything about this. This is a kind of a noise project that's really good. I don't know, recorded between 1988 and 1995. And it could just be someone's home experiments, but this is really intriguing, really enjoyable. Here's an old jazz album I have that I keep it mainly because I like the label. It's not much fun to listen to. Chris Colombo Quintet. It's real light, and it's one of those nostalgic things. When I was a little kid, there would be certain labels that I'd see them and they would just look like candy to me, and this was one, Strand. The orange and the simple design. So that's why I have it, was that label. I've been hearing from folks that the Flyover records are getting to where they're going just fine. Glad to hear that. Some CDs sitting out that I've been loading up in my Walkman for when I walk. Laraji, Flow Goes the Universe. Mahogany, what's the name of this one? Connectivity. Haven't listened to this yet, but it's going on the player. David Sylvian, Dead Bees in a Cake. Love his work. YMO, Technodon remixes, remixed by The Orb. Love this. Love this. Robert Wyatt, Rock Bottom. What can you say about this album? It's just fantastic. Where the Pyramid Meets the Eye. It's a tribute to Rocky Erickson. My favorites on here are the Julian Cope and the Judy Bats covers. I like those a lot. Zamla Mama's Mana. Schleigern's Mystique. And for older beginners, double CD on Silence. This band is amazing. Again, some music that's sitting out. I had also was playing some Burns, Mr. Flood's Party. I have the album, but I was playing the CD. Made up a Burn copy of it. Chimera, Duncan McKay from Africa. This is Prague. Nice. So, see, yeah, this music is just okay, but it's kind of on the light side. I'll keep going for a few minutes here. I don't really want to talk business, but I had mentioned about working with a vocalist, and that is down the road. It's not for now. We'll get to that later. Let's see here. I'll put on the background. Put this on the Eno. This is my last month of the artist residency, and I think even though I didn't spend a lot of time down there, the fact that it's ending, I'm feeling it. It's been a neat opportunity, and also the money was helpful. You know, I was living literally on the money, so I've got lined up. I'm starting to line up some gigs for. I've only got one this month and two next month. One of them is a guaranteed gig. I mean, paid, which is nice. You don't get a lot of those on my level. You pay for the door, or you split it, or whatever. But one is a paid gig. So, you know, perhaps some of the depression, it could be related to that. Thinking about, you know, what next? How do I go about making sure that I keep my boat afloat? It's still really hard for me to just think prosperity and abundance. It really is hard for me to. I have a kind of a group think in my head where it's hard to explain, but it's hard to divorce myself from the immediate situation of 99% of the world doing so poorly, and me just forgetting about them and saying, well, I'm just going to try to get all I can while I can. Maybe that's what I should do, or maybe there's a happy medium. Anyway, looking for opportunities to generate income. I don't, it's not what I want to think about, but it's the reality, Yesterday I had to fight with my bank because I had to get my debit card upgraded so I could use PayPal correctly. But while I was there, my banker was informing me, did you know that, you're getting all these charges for using ATMs? I said, I know, but, it's like you guys are penalizing me for living where I do. I live in a particular part of North Omaha that is supposedly the highest crime area, which it's not true. It's a stereotype. But there's hardly any services here in my neighborhood, stores, nothing, And so I was saying to him, it's like, I have to go clear halfway across town to use an ATM that's connected to my bank because you guys have abandoned my neighborhood. It's like you guys are penalizing me for just for living, So I took all the charges off, which I appreciate, I guess I'm gonna have to do it every month, is go down and say, take these fucking charges off. I hardly got any money anyway, and you're taking it $2.50, $5 just so I can get my money. I kind of bitched. I didn't bitch out the banker, but I sounded off for a minute, and I just thanked him for letting me bitch, because I told him I hate the banks, and I've been at this bank since I was 17. I'm 58, and anytime I come down here, I feel like it's the first time. I feel like I'm some kind of intruder, Anyway, those are some things that are on my mind. I'm glad that people are aware, who've been watching me for a while, that what you see is what you get. If you happen to see me for the first time and you don't know what's going on here, it's very simple. I'm just a guy who decided a few years ago to start making videos basically about my records. Then I started making videos about my music and making records. But I like to just kind of, share what's in my mind. And sometimes it flows and sometimes it doesn't, This is one of those times where it's just kind of a little bit of this and that.